I'm going to invite you all to actually begin by laying down on your mat like a starfish with your arms out. Doesn't have to be radical, just wider than maybe sometimes. Your legs a little wider. It's like a starfish. And organize all your bones so that you feel supported, comfortable, and at ease. And once you've arrived, make sure, please, that your shoulder blades are under your back and allow your toes to roll out comfortably in their natural manner. And attend to your breath. Close your eyes if that feels good in your space right now. And just begin to feel the breath, the natural rhythm of your breath in your body. And slow the breath down. Feel all the grounding points where your back body touches the mat, touches the earth below you. Allow yourself to feel completely supported. And then if it resonates with you, let's all breathe in peace and breathe out love. Breathing in peacefulness. And as you exhale, sending out love. Breathe peace into your own heart, into your own being. And as you exhale, breathe out love. And stay with this for just a couple minutes. Breathing in peace. Breathing out love. And letting that love surround you as it radiates out into the universe. Breathing in peace and letting that energy of love surround our planet. And we'll stay with this for 5 or 6 more cycles of breath. Couple more breath cycles. And then we'll begin our more active practice. Still on our backs, we'll practice Bananasana or smile pose. So for this, you can bring your legs back to the center of the mat, and your choice. You can either take a deep breath in, bring your right ankle, heel up to your sits bones, hug that ankle in with your right hand, and take your left arm, breathe it up towards the sky, hug the head of your arm bone into your shoulder socket, and then send the arm up overhead. And then the left leg, as well as the arm and even the upper body, can come over towards the right side of the mat. Alternatively, you can take smile pose and cross your right leg, your left leg, over your right and walk your legs and your arm over towards the right side of the mat. So left leg over right for smile pose. Either way, we'll be stretching through the psoas, the hip, opening up the side body. Staying with the breath, and you can continue if it resonates with you to breathe in peace and breathe out love if that feels good. Or maybe there's some other qualities that are appealing to you in this morning's practice. Staying with your breath. Just allowing those fibers to begin to warm and stretch along the left side body, the left hip flexors deep within, the ribs, and soften your face and your eyes. Deep breaths in and long breaths out. Noticing any sensations and bringing breath to those. Just gently easing into our practice this morning. we'll stay here for 3 or 4 more breath cycles. And on your next inhalation, begin to bring yourself back to the center of your mat. Lengthen your legs and just feel your body. Take a few breaths right here. And then whichever way you chose to practice, let's take it to the other side. And in each way, smile or Bananasana, please bring your right arm up to the sky on an inhalation. And as you exhale, draw the head of the arm bone into the shoulder socket and then send your arm overhead. As on the other side, bring your legs over to the left side if you're in smile pose, or in the other pose, we'll just take the right leg over to the left. And staying with your breath. Long, deep breaths in and longer breaths out. Even in these simple poses, there's quite a bit of stretch. Breathe into the stretch, into the sensations. And soften your face. Notice any areas where you may be holding tension. Do your best to relax and release there. Breathing in peace. Breathing out love. And we'll stay here for 3 to 5 more breath cycles. Softening the face and the eyes. Practicing the art of allowing the fibers to open and stretch, warm and release. One more breath cycle here. And then please gently bring yourself back to the center of your mat and take a few breaths. Just feeling into your body. And take a breath in, and as you do, roll to your right side and use your arms and hands to press up. And so here you'll have a couple more options. You can either take supported fish pose, which will be my preference. Bringing the blocks like this on your mat. Or you can take your blanket and roll it for Mountain Brook. Whatever feels better or best for you in your practice. If you're taking Mountain Brook, roll the blanket, again, however much will be appropriate for you in this small back bend through the thoracic spine. If you're using the blanket, you'll roll it and bring it right under your armpits, opening the arms into a T. And your shoulder blades will cascade like a waterfall off the blanket. If you're taking supported fish, you will want the block to come right to the bottom of what would be a bra line. So it doesn't come into your lower back. And you can lean onto the block and let your cranium, that large round bone in your head, rest on the top block, the upright block. And then your choice here, you can keep your knees bent, feet on the mat, or you can lengthen your legs long on your mat. And if you choose to take Baddha Konasana, I would ask that you roll a blanket under your thighs and support them in this pose. Or place blocks under your thighs if you have blocks handy. And once you arrive in your chosen pose, feel the opening through the heart space, through your ribs, and relax your jaw, relax your face, your neck, your collarbones and pectorals. Notice your breath. Long, deep breaths in and longer breaths out. And if it feels good and resonates with you, feel free to continue to breathe in peace. And as you exhale, breathe out love, envisioning that love coming right from your heart center. And that heart center is colored green. So you can even envision a beautiful green light surrounding all that is blessed by the radiance of your offering. And breathing in peace for ourselves. quality of presence that's available in every moment, no matter what the outer circumstances. And we'll stay here for 4 or 5 more breath cycles. Enjoying the sensation of opening through the heart center, through the ribs, the chest, the rib cage. And so wherever you may be, please bring your feet back to the mat and then use your hands, either roll off the blanket roll, or if you're in supported fish, use your hands, your core, and your arms to press back up. And you can come to hands and knees, move your props off your mat, or if you have sensitive knees, you might want to place the blanket under your knees for child's pose. We'll take a wide child's pose, bringing the hips, the sits bones towards the heels, extending the spine long. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, lower down, keeping your spine long. And if it feels good and is beneficial, you can place a block or a blanket under your head to begin. And just find your way into this restful inversion. And maybe your head makes it all the way down to the mat. And you can keep your arms active, slightly active, drawing your shoulder blades down towards your hips, away from your ears. Stay with your breath. And we're going to add on by taking a deep breath in and sending the right arm out to the side and then scooping it under to come into a twist. Bring your right ear to the mat, and you can lift your palm up off the mat, your left palm, tenting the palm. Experiment if it feels good in your body. You can walk your left fingertips over towards the right side of the mat, stretching through the rib cage. You can stay there or bring your arm back overhead. Find what feels good in your practice this morning. And relax your jaws, your eyes, and your face. Stay with your breath. Long breaths in Longer breaths out. Breathing into sensations as they arise. Squeezing out the lymph in the groins. And we'll be here for about 3 more breath cycles. And on your next inhalation, bring your left hand closer towards your face and press up. Come to table hold pose, please, lifting your knees back to hip width distance and send your hips from side to side. And if it feels good in your body, you can take each leg and stretch it out. Wonderful. And then we'll come back to a nice wide child's pose once again. Lengthening over the mat. Fingers spread overhead. Drawing the shoulder blades down and away from the ears. And then taking your left arm out to the side, scoop it under to come on to the left side of your head. And again, activate your right arm, lifting the palm up off the mat, pressing just the fingertips in to the mat. Hugging that shoulder blade down towards the hips. And breathe into the stretch. Into the sensations. Inner groins, inner thighs, hips. Across the back body where the sacrum lives, stretching out all those fibers. Deep breaths in and long breaths out. And just as on the other side, if it feels good, walk your upper hand over to towards the other side of the mat. Breathe into that. And at any time, feel free to bring your hand back or your arm back overhead. Finding what feels appropriate in your own practice today, which might be different than another day. Breathing in love and peacefulness to yourself and sending those qualities out. And as you breathe, being attentive to the mind and its inclination to want to move away from sensation. Always remembering that sharp pain is not the goal. So if it's sharp, if there is sharp pain, please ease away from that, back away. We'll stay here for 3 more breath cycles. Perfect. And on your next inhalation, bring your right hand to support you as you press up. Both hands come to the mat. Lift your knees back to hip width distance and come back to table pose. Send your hips from side to side. Stretch out the legs if that feels beneficial. Perfect. And let's come to our next pose, Sphinx pose. We'll need a blanket to support the back. So we're supporting our lumbar spine by lifting the hips. So fold the blanket from this orientation so it's long and narrow and can support you right under your hips, right under the pelvis. And then lower down. And bring your legs behind you, top of your feet resting on the mat. And bring muscle energy to the feet and legs, hugging the muscles to the bones. So we're engaging the muscles more now. Elbows come under the shoulders. And forearms extend out in front, fingertips placed on the mat. And draw the pubic bone towards the navel center. Protect your lumbar spine. Send the tailbone towards the heels. Draw the shoulder blades down and away from the ears, down the back towards the hips. And we'll co-contract the arms by drawing energy from the inner elbow up into the inner armpit. And then draw energy from the outer armpit down to the outer elbow, contracting, co-contracting the muscles in the arms. Press into the fingertips. So we're very active. Lengthening through the crown of the head. And then scan your body as you stay in this pose. Notice especially the lumbar spine, drawing up from the pubic bone towards the navel center. And then you can claw your fingertips into the mat and draw your heart forward, drawing the shoulder blades even more down and towards the hips. Lengthen through the neck as you lengthen through the crown of the head. Draw the ears back, soften the jaw. Stay with your breath, long, deep breaths in and longer breaths out. Keeping your legs active. Good work, everyone. opening the heart center, opening the ribs, lengthening the spine. Deep breaths in, longer breaths out. And if you enjoyed our mantra for today, please join with me, breathing in peace and breathing out love. Draw those shoulder blades down the back. And if at any time you'd like to transition into seal pose, you can take your arms to the points of your yoga mat. Turn your fingertips out a bit. Good. Keep drawing your ears back and lengthening the spine. Some of you may enjoy this pose more than Sphinx or vice versa. Take your pick or come in and out of both. Paying a lot of attention, a lot of loving attention to the lumbar spine. Keep drawing up from the pubic bone to the navel center, sending your tailbone towards your heels. Legs are active. Long, slow, deep breaths in and out. Soften the face, the eyes, and the jaw. And we'll stay here for about 1 more minute in either or both Sphinx and Seal. Notice your shoulders and your shoulder blades. Keep them moving down and away from the ears. Lengthening through the crown of the head. Beautiful. And then wherever you are, we're going to lower down, taking our arms wide along the top of the mat and just lower your forehead to the hands. So your hands can rest one over the other. And once you've arrived, send your hips slowly from side to side, letting those sacral ligaments normalize or neutralize. And then please bring your hands under your shoulders. We'll press up, come to table pose, and just send your hips gently from side to side. And we'll set up for butterfly pose. So sitting on a blanket is beneficial, as always. one or two, according to your body and what's best for you. And bring your blocks. And then please bring the soles of your feet together. And you can walk your sits bones towards the front edge of your blanket until you find that sweet spot where you can really feel your spine lengthen. Once you've come to that nice place where your pelvis rotates forward. You can sit like this. Maybe you'd like to bring blocks under your knees. And notice your spine and the placement of the soles of your feet. And if you find yourself hunching a little bit or a lot, move your feet out a little bit so that you can lengthen your spine. Beautiful. Yes, that. Draw your ears back towards the wall behind you. Sit up tall, open your heart. Widen through the collarbones. Use your core, draw the belly in just a bit, just enough to support the spine. Lift through the heart. Keep drawing your ears back, chin towards your sternum. Open through the heart. And maybe it feels good in your practice to begin to hinge at the hip and come forward. Maybe yes, maybe no. It's okay either way. Take the movement if you choose to take that forward fold. Initiate that movement in the hips so that the spine stays just long, just as it was sitting up tall. The only difference is that you're hinging at your hip, coming forward. Keep your jaw soft. And if you're hinging and coming forward, let your gaze be towards the earth. So your spine, your neck, and your head are one long, beautiful line. And breathe. Breathe into the sensations as they arise. Keep drawing the shoulder blades towards one another on the back body, broadening through the collarbones, drawing the heart forward. Good. Nice work. Maybe you feel a little more spaciousness, opening up in these long held poses. And if you've come forward at any time, feel free to lift back up. Mm. Stay with it for a few more breath cycles. And you can take your hands behind you and let your legs lengthen out in front of you. And give them a little wiggle up and down and back and forth. And sitting up nice and tall, we'll take shoelace pose, either full shoelace or half shoelace. So let's begin with the feet out in front, and you can choose as we go. Take your right leg, the knee and the foot into your hands. I think it's best to sit on a blanket. We'll want to keep that long spine, and then just send your leg back and forth. We're lubricating the hip, bringing some synovial fluid into the hip, warming it up, and eventually bringing the leg around when it feels right in your practice. Bring your leg around, and this is half shoelace, and notice the ankle, your right ankle. If it's sickling like this, please bring some dorsiflexion, flex the foot, and you can even press your baby toes, the small toes, into the mat to support that dorsiflexion. So this is half shoelace pose. And if you enjoy full shoelace as I do, bring your fingertips behind you. As you lean back, you can bring the other leg around. And then both feet are dorsiflexed. And you can bring your hands to your knees or your knee and draw your spine upright. And this can be a very liberating and even life-changing pose where we release lots of held energy in the hips. You can begin to feel that quality of radiant release. It feels almost joyful and just lots of energy being offered back into your system. It's your energy that gets held in the hips and your energy that gets released back into your system for more abundance. And as you sit in this pose, sit up as tall as you're able, drawing the shoulder blades towards one another on your back, widening, broadening through the collarbones. Maybe you'd enjoy bringing your fingertips to either side if that feels good. Keep lengthening through the crown of your head, sending the ears back so that your ears are just over your shoulders best you're able. Lift your heart and soften your jaw, soften your eyes, and enjoy your breath. And again, if it feels resonant with you this morning, join me in breathing in peace, sending out love, humanity, Humanity and all the other living souls on this planet, I believe, are going to benefit from this in whatever way we may not know. Keep lengthening and lifting your spine, sending your tailbone down towards the earth, drawing energy up through the spine, up through the central energy channel, and out the crown of your head. And if you'd like, you can join me in taking a side bend. So from here, if you like, you can send your arms out to either side, take a breath in and lift your right arm up. And as you exhale, take that bend over to the left. Beautiful. Do your best to maintain that dorsiflexion through your feet and press your right hip down so it doesn't lift up. Breathe into that stretch. Beautiful work, everyone. Stay with this breath, stay with the stretch for as long as you like. Let's come out of it by taking a breath in. And as you exhale, sit back up, nice and tall. And we can take a twist here too. Take a breath in to lengthen. And as you exhale, twist to the right. Send your right shoulder blade around and back. Broaden through the collarbones. Enjoy the breath. Soften your jaw, soften your eyes. Ground through both sits bones. And on your next breath in, lengthen through the crown of your head and return to center as you exhale. Beautiful. Let's come out of this side. You can take your fingertips behind you, taking care not to hang in your shoulders, and send your left leg back out. Find your knee and your foot with your hands, and let's give the hips some love. Just moving it back and forth. And then lengthen the leg out in front. And I think if you're like me, you'll want to give those legs a little movement before we take the other side. And then again, sitting in Dandasana, lengthen the spine, press out through the soles of both feet. And then please find your knee and your foot, your left knee and foot. And join me in lubricating your hip. And then bring it around. Dorsiflex that foot. And either remain here or bring your right foot around and dorsiflex that foot as well. Sit up as tall as you can. Growing long from your tailbone all the way up your spine, through the crown of your head, Sending your ears over your shoulders best you can. And you can take your hands to either side or let your hands rest at your knee, whatever feels best in your practice. Draw the belly in enough to support your lumbar spine and broaden through the collarbones. And breathe into those external hip flexors. Releasing and letting go. And liberating held energy. Please soften your jaw, soften your face, soften and even close your eyes. Find your breath. Peace in, love out. Long, deep breaths. And we'll stay here for a few more breath cycles, and then we'll take that side bend if that's appealing to you. And then taking the arms out to either side, snug the shoulder blades towards one another. Take a breath in and lift your left arm up. And as you exhale, take your side bend, ground into that left hip, reaching out, lengthening through the side body. Really stretching through the hip, the outer hip flexors. Do your best to stay soft through your face, your jaw, your eyes. Dorsiflexing through both feet. Beautiful. Take a couple more breaths here. Big stretch. And on your next breath in, ground through both hips. And as you exhale, come back up. Reset your spine, grow long. Take the twist with me if you like. Take a breath in to lengthen. And as you exhale, twist to the left side. Drawing the left shoulder blade around and back. Broaden through the collarbones. Lift through the crown of the head. Enjoy your breath. Soften your jaws and face, eyes, neck. Deep breaths in. Long breaths out. Take a couple more breath cycles on this side. And on your next breath in, lengthen your spine. And as you exhale, return to center. Phew. And then you can bring your fingertips behind you and lift that lower leg out and find your knee and your foot and give that hip a little more love. And then lengthen your leg and give both legs some attention. And find your blocks. And we're going to take dragonfly. The hips will like a little expansion here. Kind of a counter pose to what we just did. You can bring your blocks out in front of you. Use them for props for friends, yoga friends. And once you've found your place for your legs on your mat or on the ground, the earth, please bring your knees and your toes towards the sky. And press into your heels. Keep those feet really active. Keep pressing into the heels, protecting your knees from overextending. Draw your belly in and sit up as tall as you can. Draw the shoulder blades towards one another and then draw the tips of the shoulder blades towards one another. Really lifting through the heart space, opening wide through the collarbones. You might feel a lengthening quality through the neck. Soften your jaw. And you can stay perpendicular to the earth like this, or perhaps take a hinge at the hips and rotate your upper body, your torso forward. Keep drawing your belly in. It'll help keep the spine long and extended as you draw the shoulder blades towards one another. And maybe you bring your elbows onto your blocks. So you can rest your chin on your hands, or maybe you bring your forehead to your fingers, whatever feels best and assists you in keeping your spine long. We can look at one another and enjoy one another as we practice, because it's so wonderful to see you. Yeah. It is. It's wonderful to see you and practice with you. So wonderful. And if it feels good in your practice, you can lower your blocks and perhaps you come down a little bit. Yeah. Keep your spine long no matter where you are. Keep your spine long. There's so much forward rotation or forward head syndrome in our culture. And as we progress in time, it benefits us greatly to do whatever it is that we can mindfully do to lengthen the spine, keep opening through the collarbones, keep the shoulder blades on the back, because everything we do is encouraging the absolute opposite of that. And the things that can arise, the issues that can arise in the body aren't fun. When we collapse through the front body and hunch over, can throw our shoulders out of alignment, our neck, our head. We want to stay strong and open. Soft face, soft jaw. And maybe you Find a little more space, opens up, and you can lower down a little more, giving lots of new spaciousness to the inner thighs, the inner groins, which will translate into spaciousness in the back, strength in the back, flexibility, mobility. Keep hugging the muscles to the bones in the legs, active feet, toes to the sky. We'll be here for, a few more breath cycles. And then I promise we'll come out. One more breath cycle. And then wherever you are, come back up nice and slow. You can take your blocks to the side and bring your hands under your knees. Help your legs to hip width distance apart. Mat width distance apart. And then with your breath, take some windshield wipers. Best to inhale up, exhale over. Lifting through the heart so we're not hanging in the shoulders. Wonderful. And guess what? We'll come onto our backs next. And let's practice lowering down with some control, using the core to arrive on our backs. And then coming into constructive rest pose with the feet on the mat, hip width distance apart. Take a moment to notice your spine, lift your hips, lengthen through the tailbone. Lengthen through the neck and the crown of the head. Draw the shoulder blades under the back body, and we'll take figure 4. Take a breath in, please, and cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Inhale, reach through your legs and find either your thigh or your shin and hug it in. If you like, you can extend your left leg towards the sky. If that feels best in your practice. Keep both feet actively dorsiflexed, please. If your chin lifts up as mine does towards the sky, do your best to lengthen the back of your neck and draw your chin back down towards your sternum just a bit. We'll stay here for 3 to 5 breath cycles. Keeping your face soft, shoulders soft and relaxed. Deep breaths in, longer breaths out. Beautiful. From here, we're going to bring, if you've lengthened your leg, please bend it now and slide your right knee across your left thigh. So you're kind of in a shoelace pose, and then send your legs to the left for a twist. So it's pretty much like twisted roots, but we just kind of slid into it. Big twist, big stretch along the right side body. You can open your arms into a T and invite the breath into your right armpit, the right lobe of the lung and ribs, the hip. Soften the face and the eyes, jaw, the neck and the shoulders. We'll stay here for 2 more breath cycles. And on your next breath in, bring your head back to neutral and draw the belly in to lift your legs back up. Feet come back to the mat. And take a moment, draw your knees towards your chest, please. Apanasana. Just rock from side to side. Good, and then set your feet back onto your mat. Take the other side, cross your left ankle over. Find your way into figure 4, however you like. Please dorsiflex your feet, relax your shoulders, lengthen the back of your neck. If your mid back or your lower back has lifted up in an arch, try or do your best to let it settle back towards the mat. Breathe into the space of your hip, letting go of stuck energy, freeing up your own vital life force energy. We'll stay here for a couple more breath cycles. And if you've lengthened your leg up, please bend at the knee and then sliding that left knee over, coming into that shoelace type pose or twisted roots. You can lower the knees and the legs towards the right this time. Take a nice big twist, nice big stretch. Opening your arms into a T. Opening through the pectorals. Breathe into the armpit. The left lobe of the lung and ribs. Side waist and hip. Feeling the space of the heart open. Expansive. And we'll stay here for 2 or 3 breath cycles more. And to come out of the twist, please bring your head back to neutral, draw your belly in, and on an inhalation, lift your legs back to center, feet to the mat. You can lift your hips back to the center of your mat and draw your knees towards your chest. Apanasana. If it feels good, roll from side to side, rock from side to side. Maybe you place your hands on your knees and circle them. Take it slow and easy. Give the fascia opportunity to neutralize after these big stretches, and then please go the other direction. Giving your sacrum a really nice, loving massage. And then coming to stillness, let's find happy baby pose. Find your feet, your shins, your knees, your thighs, whatever works best for you in this moment. Inner spaciousness. Here again, breathing into sensations as they present themselves. Relax your shoulders, lengthen the skin along the back of your neck, soften your jaw, soften your eyes and breathe. Enjoying the inhalations as well as the exhalations. Breathing in peace and breathing out love in the shade of green. And we'll stay here for a few more breaths. And if you'd like to breathe into your pelvic floor, into your groins and hips, feel free. An option to bring the soles of your feet together in Supta Baddha Konasana. Pressing your knees out wide. And then please bring your knees back together, hug in. If you would like to bring your head towards your knees, please feel free. Staying with your breath. And then we'll come into Shavasana, taking a breath in. And as you exhale, release and open out into that same starfish pose or posture. Cover yourself, stay warm if that's helpful. Take your time, set yourself up for comfort. Stay warm. And once you found your way in for Shavasana, our final resting pose, please turn your palms to the sky, bringing your shoulder blades under you, equal weight distribution on your sacrum. Allow your toes, your feet, your legs to turn out naturally. Take a couple of nice deep breaths in. And as you exhale, let those breaths go gently out like a wave along your torso and the limbs of your body. Settling into the back body, feeling supported by the ground underneath you. Letting go of tension in the jaw, the neck, the shoulders and hips, the elbows and wrists, the knees and the ankles. Take another deep breath in. And as you exhale, let that breath flow all the way out your fingertips and the soles of your feet. And then take a breath into the space between your legs. And as you exhale, let it go. Breathe into the space between your arms and your side bodies. And let that breath go. And breathe into the space between your ears and your shoulders. And let that go too. And let's practice breathing into the hollows of the body. Visualizing and imagining that there are little nostrils in each space I mentioned. Starting with the arches of your feet. Breathe into those. And then let that breath go gently. Let's take that one more time. Breathing into the arches. And letting those breaths go. And breathing into the backs of the knees. And let that grow. One more time, please breathe into those little nostrils in the backs of your knees. And let that go. And breathing into the space of the groins. And let that go. And again, breathe into the space of the groins. Big cleansing breath. And let everything go from there. And now breathe into the space of the armpits. And let that go. And again, breathe into the armpits. And let it go. and into the eyes of the elbows. And let that go. Another breath into the eyes of the elbows. And let it go. And next, please breathe into the palms of your hands. And let everything go from there. Another breath there. And exhaling, let everything go. Next, please breathe into the sternal notch, the space at the base of the throat, right where the collarbones meet. Breathe in there and let that go too. And take another breath like that. And imagining the little nostrils in the orbs of the eyes, breathe in there. And let that go. And another one like that. And let it go. And then follow your natural breath pattern. Breathing in and breathing out. And if it feels accessible and resonates with you, imagine a beautiful green orb at your heart center. Perhaps this green orb is tinged with gold. With each breath in, fill the heart center with breath. And as you exhale, breathe out love. With each inhalation, breathe in peace. And as you exhale, let that green golden energy flow from your heart center out into space, sending love out to all beings everywhere. Breathing in peace, sending out love. And a couple more. And then begin to bring your awareness into the space of the heart. Into the space of the body and the breath. Feeling into your fingertips, into the toe tips, bringing some gentle movement there. beginning to circle the wrists and the ankles. And in both directions. Maybe expanding into the arms, the legs, taking a nice stretch, pointing your toes, lifting your arms overhead, deep breath in. And let it go. Take any movement that feels good in your body. And then roll to your right side. And stay there for a few breath cycles. Let it all settle in. The nutrients and nurturing of your practice settling into the fabric of your being. And when you're ready, use your hands and your arms and your breath to press up and find a seat on your mat. Bringing your heart, your hands together at your heart center. Please join me for a moment in bowing your head to your heart and to all the hearts here. Each of our hearts joined in unity and love, compassion and peace. Please join with me in sending a prayer of metta out into the space of life. We'll send it out to all beings. May all beings be peaceful and calm. May all beings be healthy and strong. May all beings be safe and protected from inner and all outer harms. May all beings everywhere be filled with love, compassion, empathy, and forgiveness for themselves and for each other. And may all beings everywhere live with ease and with grace all the days of their lives. Let's join together in one Om. We'll simply inhale and begin. Om. And thank you, each one of you, for your practice, for joining with me and for one another, for joining with one another. Thank you. And from my heart to your hearts, Namaste.